Welcome, Charlene, and thank you to the home of Studio 7.
Thank you so much for having me, Miss Simone Smith.
So, being the parent of a dancer, of Jewel, what made you be part, or should I ask, encouraging her to be part of dance?
Well, it all started where, as a parent growing up and seeing my daughter coming of age, I decided I wanted to get her exposed to as much activities as possible because I wasn't sure what she would take to. So I got her involved in violin, I got her involved in ballet because they had ballet dancing for children at a young age. So when she was in second year, I got her involved in the ballet, I got her involved in gymnastics. So I gave her a wide range. And Jewel got a video called Mad Hot Ballroom. And she saw these children competing and doing this ballroom dancing. So she decided, Mommy, I want to learn ballroom dancing. Now this is besides all the other stuff she was doing. So I decided to look for a ballroom dance class for Jewel. I searched all over Trinidad, in the Arima area, Port of Spain area, but I couldn't find a ballroom dance school for a child. I found a school that was doing ballroom dancing in Arima, the heart of Arima, and it was an adult class. So we waited till about 7 in the night, Jewel and I approached the guy. He said, no, I don't take children, that's babysitting. So it was really depressing because Jewel was just so excited.
Yes.
And then I passed on the Arima Velodrome side and I saw Studio 7 Ballroom Latin and Dance School. I said, let me check this school. I came and they had adult classes and I asked, do they do children? And it was no. They introduced me to Miss Carol Matthew Webb. She was the owner of the school, and I asked her and she said no. I said, could you probably consider it? She said, here what, take my number and call me. I would meet the child because that time Jewel wasn't with me. I called Carol and she said, I haven't decided on it yet, call me back. And I kept calling her like every day, sometimes twice a day, 3 times a day. She just got fed up a day, I think, and she said, just bring her. Because Jewel was behind me and I really wanted them to see her because she had this desire. And she came the Friday evening, there was no other child here, and Carol just took her and started to show her a step, 2 steps, 3 steps, and she looked at her and she recognized she was catching on.
Quickly.
And
yes.
that is where it started. And when she saw that Jewel was doing it, she decided she would get her nephew or her cousin to come and dance with Jewel so she would have like a partner. And the school started there, I guess, the children's dance school, and that same year she was able to take them to Barbados where they were able to compete in regional classics, and they were able to take 1st place and 2nd place in 2 different events. So that's where it all kind of started for Jewel in terms of Latin and ballroom.
Just by you talking, Charlene, can you tell that you're a very proud parent?
Yes, I am.
Tell us how proud you are.
I am very, very proud, and I think the proudness is because I'm seeing my daughter, my son as well, but I'm seeing them actually do what they love. It wasn't about me because I can't dance. Carol will tell you I can't dance. I came to adult classes and it was difficult, but Studio 7, I must say, is a warm environment. It doesn't matter what you can or can't do, they support you. So seeing my children really achieve what they love was important to me, and I am proud because I was able to support her. I was able to encourage her along the way. There were many times where people would say, forget the dance, focus on the academics, because again, Jewel was going to a fully academic school. And she passed for that academic school, but because it wasn't offering the type of subject she wanted in terms of music, she couldn't get to do all of them together. We transferred her out of that school to a school that would better facilitate the arts as well as the academics. And people said, you're making that's unwise, let her do dance after her schooling. However, this is what she wanted, and I decided I would support her. So what she did the academics and the dancing. For schooling, she did her food and nutrition, she did music, she did chemistry. And when she was finished and she got all her subjects, she handed it to me and said, look, here are your subjects. and she decided to pursue dance. And I am proud that I am as a parent supported her and also my son in what they love, and it's not about me.
And as you talk about supporting, I know you are one of Studio 7's biggest supporters.
Yes, I love Studio 7. I mean, I remember being there all of the time and seeing the children, seeing the adults, and I'll be like, Studio 7! I love to shout. I like people to know where I am from. I mean, this Studio 7 jersey, I have it so many years, and for all who are listening, they should get themselves a Studio 7 jersey, because I mean, the quality is excellent, and I'm so proud of the school. The environment is really supportive. Carol, Matthew Webb, she loves the children, but she, they don't walk over her. She is a person who loves, but she also is a person in control of the students. So you don't have any out of hand behavior where she's there. She communicates with the parents. I mean, it's not about money with her. That don't mean you don't pay your fees. However, it's not about money. The children and the love for dance and seeing them develop is a major aspect of Studio 7, and I love that. I love the warmth. I love the fact that there's no favorites here. She loves all the children, and she supports them, and she encourages them.
You're all supported and encouraged the same way.
Yes.
So you being a parent of Jewel and she being out there, what are there or were there any challenges that you faced?
She being out there, the main challenge was understanding as a parent that you have raised her a certain way and the rest is in God's hands, because you have no control now when your child goes overseas. Most times unless they are staying with family, you have no control over what goes on with them. So right now, when they are younger, you try to build, you try to encourage, you try to support, you train them in the right way, and you hope that when they go out there, they will be able to continue. She learned to cook, she learned to support herself, she learned how to manage money, and I think the challenge was just being able to see it all come to pass where she could handle herself without her parents being around. I mean, you're in an apartment, you're on your own. I mean, you have a choice to go out and lime in the night, and she really did me proud in the way she really went out there and focused on what she wanted to achieve. I mean, being from overseas, there were so many people she was one of the few who was from overseas. Most of them were from that country itself, and seeing her actually settle in and make friends and support and grow and develop, it made me feel really well. So I was apprehensive at first just to see it come to pass, but when she did show me, she would call in the evening, I would know what's going on, and I saw that she developed and matured, and she did pretty well on her own.
You're very much proud.
Yes, very proud.
But were there any challenges that you would have faced here in terms of her pursuing her career or going further?
Challenges I would have faced here, I guess, finances would have been a challenge, and thank God she was able to secure a scholarship, right? Challenges in terms of what else? What other challenges would I have faced? There was the challenge of making sure that she had all that she needed to have while she was overseas. So there was a lot of Amazon, and she'd be like, Mommy, I need mats, I need all sorts of stuff, and I would have to buy it. There was also the challenge where when she was in the US before she had to graduate, she came home and she was trying to get through with a job, and her visa was denied, right? And we had those challenges where we had to find a way for her to go forward, and prayer was very important, because had her visa not been denied at that time for what she wanted to do, she would not have gotten an opportunity now to pursue her career, as a performer in Royal Caribbean, going to the Asian continent. So, God has really been good to her, and in spite of the challenges we faced along the way, especially with the finances, especially with getting permission to go where we had to go, God has really been good in opening doors. Where one closed, He opened another. So, I'm grateful for that. So the challenges were there, but we overcame them.
Nothing happens without God.
So true. So true.
Are there any performance that stood out to you while Jewel being that performer out there?
Well, one performance that stood out to me while she was in Studio 7 was once where, because I told you Jewel did violin, there was a time when St. Augustine Youth Chamber Orchestra, which is a violin group, and her dance school, Studio 7, was able to join together and perform in Napa. So actually, the violin teacher, Mr. Listrop, he invited the school because he knew Jewel and she played with the school to come, and while they were playing their symphony, I mean, Jewel and her partner, they were able to dance, and there were some other students who were there as well, and it was like, oh my goodness, this has all come together where Studio 7 has reached Napa from not even having a children's school to performing in Napa and being on the front page of the newspaper. I mean, Carol Matthew Webb and her husband did a nice dance today.
Yes. I remember that occasion.
Yes.
I remember that.
It was excellent. I mean, that made me so proud to see that there was no school and the school has reached so far and continues to grow. I mean, the school is so huge now with children. And I must say thank you again to Miss Carol Matthew Webb and her husband for, you know, going out there where they hadn't charted before, for going into new waters, for trying. I mean, there was somebody who said no, we don't take children, but she was willing, after much pushing and tugging by myself, she was willing to try. And because she tried, so many children's lives have been changed, have been inspired. So many children can now say they have dance as a career or as a skill, and they get love and they get up. I mean, there's so much more than dance that goes on at this school, cheerleading, and I mean, it's fantastic. I would tell any parent, Studio 7 is an excellent school that takes the children, and I think Studio 7 has been performing away in cheer and all of that. So I mean, Studio 7, I mean, I'll do it again and again if I had more children, but I do. Yes.
Well, you know, at these times that we are living in, it's always good to have those children close to you.
So true. So
again, Charlene, I want to thank you for being with me here this afternoon.
Thank you for having me, Miss Slater Smith. It was a pleasure.